Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Trevor Newell. I work for Seal for Life Industries. Just here today to do a podcast for you with our distributor, Unconventional Solutions. Welcome, everyone. We'll be talking about high temperature coatings, corrosion under insulation or CUI, and SP0198 from AMP today. If you have any questions as we go through the presentation, please feel free. And we'll get started right away for you. What happened here? It's skipping a slide on me. Oh well, we'll start. So what are high temperature coatings? High temperature coatings are coatings that are generally above 120 C or 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Coatings above this need to be inorganic to be able to react with the high temperature and stop corrosion protection. So high temperature coatings can be categorized by temperature requirements, exposure, and or application requirements. So from ambient up to 204 degrees, there's also ambient up to 260 degrees Celsius or 500 Fahrenheit, and 350 degrees up to 1,000 Fahrenheit. One of the other categories that we'll have is cyclic or CUI, which is corrosion under insulation. So the ambient products up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit generally are silicone Alkyd technologies. The pros, high gloss finish, very flexible, no heat cure, dry fall, spray safe options. Their color stability is up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Some of the products that we would carry from Highland that you can get at USI would be our HiTemp 860, 865 silicone Alkyd and our TemperKote 850, 888 silicone Alkyd. These are used in areas of silos, heaters, piping, ductwork, tanks, supports, baghouses, material feeds, and conveyor bins. As you can see on the side, there's a hot mix asphalt plant at the bottom. A lot of our coatings are used in this industry. Most of them were made for this industry and started. The top end is just a heater burner, which is an OEM application. So ambient up to 500 takes us just a little bit higher. Easy application. They're hot apply options up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. No heat cure. Once again, premium color stability. Cons and most of these products are going to be a flat type of a finish as you move up in temperature. Our HiTemp 852 silicone acrylic and our TemperKote 600 silicone acrylic are standard products that we use in these areas. There's stacks and ductwork, as you can see in the bottom picture. Piping, generators, stacks, hot feed bins. There's an HRSG unit, which is up in the top left-hand corner. These are areas where these type of products can be used. So now we're starting to get into the hot areas of 350 up to 1,000 degrees. Pros, hot application options. Once again, a lot of our products are dry fall and good up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit on application for the substrate. They have premium color stability, and the reason being is we do not tint these products with liquid tints. These products are made with dry grind pigments. They do cost a little bit more in manufacturing, limits us because we can't have bases, but you'll have premium color stability up to that 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Some cons requires heat cure for exterior exposure. Our top products here are HiTemp 854 silicone copolymer and the TemperKote 1000 silicone copolymer. Standard uses are ductwork, piping, generators, stacks, and hot feed bins. And as you can see, there's a stack right up on the top right-hand corner and just some of the high heat piping that is color coded. Once again, this will hold these colors, even the safety colors, because of the way they're manufactured with dry grind pigments. Here we get to an area that is critical, where a lot of areas you will have cyclic piping, which has insulation and cladding over top. This would create what we call CUI, or corrosion under insulation. Because the insulation is there and the cladding, they do have inspection points, but you cannot see if that pipe is rusting underneath or that tank simply because the cladding and insulation is in the way. Pros here, we have Novolac epoxies and multi-polymeric matrix coatings. These are premium barrier products. There's no heat cure requirements, so neither one needs to be heat cured. They meet SP0198 requirements, hot application options, higher surface prep standards are required for this, obviously with the temperatures that, once again, we can do CUI up to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That substrate is going to start moving back and forth quite regularly if it's cyclic, and you will need to do better surface prep standards where you're getting to a near white or a white metal blast. Our top products here are ChemTemp 74 HF Novolac. That would be good to 350 degrees with excursions up to 400 degrees. This is also an immersion grade product and can take immersion cargoes up to 350 degrees as well. Our HiTemp 827 is our multi-polymeric matrix coating. This particular product is different than a lot of high heat coatings that are out there. Most high heat coatings people are familiar with are thin film coatings, so they are flexible enough to move with the substrate. The 827 HB can go up to 16 mils in a couple coats to give you the corrosion protection as well as the high heat capabilities. Typical uses here are stacks, exterior vessels, piping, tanks, and under insulation. So just a quick review on high temperature and CUI coatings. There's exterior options available from USI up to 400 degrees, up to 500 degrees, up to 1,000 degrees, and up to 1,200 degrees, which is the HiTemp 827 we just talked about. For CUI options, there is up to 400 degrees, which was the ChemTemp 74. We also have a US Coatings product called Gripline 6700 that can be used there as well. And for HiTemp, up to 1200 F, or into cryogenic service from -300 up to 1200 F would be the HiTemp 827 HB. Other specialty options, you can have stoves and barbecue pits. We have Stove Master 1200, just a simple black barbecue paint that's good to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. Once again, the ChemTemp 74 we use for CUI up to 400, but it is also a highly chemical resistant cargo. We talked about this in other podcasts that this product is also good for dynamic cargo storage as well. So the features and benefits of these products, they're higher film build than competitor products, which give you both the corrosion protection, high heat protection, better color stability than competitor products that are tinted, superior thermal shock resistance. So if you have that cyclic on, off, cold, hot, they will take that thermal shock. We can do custom colors up to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, low heat cure requirements, hot surface application. Most of these products are all dry fall or spray safe. So what that means is these solvent-based products would be dry spray after 10 feet. So when they land on something, on other infrastructure, or if they landed on a car or a parking lot beside, it would be dry ball dust that would fall, and it would not be sticking to the substrate. It'd simply blow off, or you could pressure wash it off. We have over 5,000 formulated colors available, and we have brush and roll and spray apply options on most of these products as well. Some of these areas, once again, just to give you some case histories where they're used, are heat exchangers, stacks, generators, and CUI, heated tanks and vessels, hot and insulated pipe. The green up in the top right-hand corner, that would be the ChemTemp 74. Now we're going to talk a little bit about SP0198 and the stainless steel systems. what SP0198 is a typical guide for protected coating systems that's put out by AMP. So they'll run through most categories. Right here, you'll see SS for stainless steel from 1 to 7. And what they're going to give you is the temperature ranges you can see there of what these different products are good to, and will tell you what the product or the system are. So you go right from high build epoxies that are good to 140 degrees Fahrenheit and right up to thermal sprayed aluminum, or in some cases stainless steel, they use aluminum foil. But from the coating system, that's where our 827 comes in, up to 650C or 1200F is where they say the inorganic copolymer coatings, air-dried silicones, epoxy novolacs, and epoxy phenolics. So once again, this is simply a guide to let you know what systems are recommended by AMP for the different temperatures in a stainless steel substrate. For carbon steel systems, much the same. It'll be a CS for carbon steel, and it'll go 1 to 8. They're going to list most of the same culprits that you had for stainless steel. High build epoxies, epoxy phenolics, epoxy novolacs, TSA, which is thermal sprayed aluminum again, or the inorganic copolymer multi-polymeric matrix coatings. Some cases, CS7, they use petrolatum wax as a primer. So once again, these are just standard carbon steel systems that can be used to combat CUI, which is what the standard for SP0198 is. Here's just some of the products we talked about very quickly. Our 854 TC, which means top coat series, 1000 degrees, and holds that color and heat stability. That would go on over top of a primer similar to 827 and go 2 to 3 mils thick. The 827 HB, this is the workhorse that we have that, like I said, goes from cryogenic service from -300 up to 1200. It's a dry fall, has hot application properties, and can be sprayed 12 to 16 mils for CUI service or 6 to 12 mils wet per coat. And you can do one coat system for use it as a primer as well. That's just a little bit more about the 827 HB. We have tons of testing on it, Houston pipe testing, which mimics CUI, which is one of the closest tests that you can find to mimic CUI in that certain environment. It's available in black, gray, and aluminum. And this is a 74HF series. This is a standard epoxy novolac DTM liner. Once again, we use this for chemical immersion, as well as CUI up to 400 degrees. It's a coating that goes on from 6 to 16 mils. As a standard novolac, you don't want to build these much more than 25 mils because they start to become brittle. And that's where you'd have issues with cyclic service or that thermal shock if you build these too thick. That's one of the cons with these products. So once again, 74HF or the 827HB are the products that you get from USI for CUI up to that, from up to 400 for the 74HF and up to 1200 for the 827HB. And that's the end of the presentation. I think I'm right on with the 15 minutes, guys.